Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah's Reviews, and today I'll be reviewing a dash cam. It's the Gecko S200, and the actual model number is S216G, and I have a feeling it's because it comes with a 16 gig card inside, so you're going to get full 1080 resolution out of this. So let's just check and see what's in this box. You do get the user manual, which is help whenever you're trying to figure out how to navigate through this thing. You get the dash cam itself. It's nice and super tiny. Suction cup mount, which I put on. You don't get the suction cup mount on it. You get the 3M sticky mount that comes on this, so you can flush mount this to make it even more of a minimalist thing in your window, which is really cool. And another cool thing about this is the lens will actually pivot around, and you can actually turn the footage by dialing that. So that if you put it on an angle in a window that may be a little goofy or you don't have it exactly straight, you can completely straighten that out by turning this lens and rotating this, which is nice. And while we're here, we'll go ahead and talk about the ports on this thing. We have a mini USB port. I haven't seen those in years. So right off the bat, this appeared dated on this side. So keep that in mind. On the other side, you do get the SD card slot with the included SD card, so that's good. You don't need anything faster than what's in here. It's just a class 10 card that should handle that 1080 just fine. You do get about 5 buttons through here. This is the power button. There's different mode buttons here, and then your navigation buttons. And these are tricky whenever you're using this, because when you're using this and you want to dial in resolution or change things, what you're going to need to do first is to press the lock button, which you would normally lock footage with while it's recording, because it'll instantly record on and off with the key, which I like that. The minute you start the car, it'll kick right in and record by default right off the bat. So really this is just a stick and go. So if you're not really tech savvy or anything at all, I found that you can actually just connect this up, pop the SD card in. If it's not, it should be already installed. You can just hook it up to the window, plug it in, turn the car on, and just go. It'll automatically loop at 3-minute intervals, so you're good there. So you have 3 minutes of footage, and it will loop over and start recording the oldest thing after it fills. So to get into the resolution changes or any changes on this, because you want to set the date and time at some point, you'll push this, which will normally lock footage in. So if you do see an accident, you don't want that to loop over it, press this. You'll see the lock button appear. Then press the power button in the middle. That will knock it out of recording, and then you can go hit this and toggle through your different settings and pick your resolutions and whatever else you want to do. It does have HDR on it, so I'll leave that on, and all the test footage that'll be shown through here, through the daytimes and darker times and all that, will be with HDR on and 1080 with the fine selection for quality. So I do enjoy how small this is, because I do own a few dash cams that have been sent to me through the years, and I like how small this is. The viewing angle is a little goofy, so whenever you do install this, you want to put it up as high as possible. Now for testing, I had mine behind my rear view, but for permanent installations, I would put it, I would probably use the sticky, the 3M sticky, maybe, and stick it up, right up above me, so that I can look up and not go too far out of my line of sight. But anyway, the suction cup would work good too. If you have some shading across the top of your glass from the manufacturer, you can put the suction up into that shading and just have your lens pop out just below that shading, so that the heat doesn't cook this too much. You do get the SD card, the micro SD card in the camera, and you also get the adapter so that you could upload your footage to your computer. You do get a nice little short cable here for maybe updating the firmware via their website. They have an intuitive website, so you can go there. The mini USB is there, short USB cable to attach it to the computer. And the one downside, the thing that I really don't like about it, is that it has the dated USB, the mini USB, and the mini USB, when connected to the adapter, the car adapter, which is a permanent fixed adapter. I would have preferred a long cord that ended with a USB that had an adapter that fit a USB into it, and maybe a spare USB so that you don't waste a port. So you would have to now buy, I'm sure you can get a mini USB cable for really, really cheap, like a few bucks, because those things are just so old and dated. But the elbow on the mini USB, to me, is backwards. It's pointing down. And then to run it through the liner of the car, between the glass and the liner, the headliner, you would need to curve it down. Why not have it like this, like most dash cams are, pointed with the elbow pointed up to the liner? So it's like it was installed backwards, or they have the wrong little elbow direction. Anyway, I just don't like this, and I thought we were done with mini USBs, but nope, it's still here. But the camera performance, though, that's probably the most important thing, because if it's cheap enough, if the price is right, and I think the price would have to be probably under 60 bucks or so to justify this over the competition, the quality has to be there. So let's take a little gander at the quality. Now let's just talk about the importance of resolutions. Now 1080p will get you through just fine for normal things, and if you're using a really good sensor, because this says that it has the Sony Starvis Night Vision, Sony Starvis Vision, yes, Night Vision, 140 degrees wide angle view in full HD in fine mode, because you can select your different qualities. But let's just talk about resolutions on dash cams. Now ideally, you're going to pay a lot. You're going to pay probably 3 times to 4 times the price of this for it, but 2.7K video footage at 60 frames per second with the HDR, with a good Sony sensor. Those are the ideal perfection. Like if you had all the money in the world to spend, because 60 frames per second, you can slow things down. You'll be able to catch quick movements across the screen with a 2.7K resolution. You can zoom in, allows more room there to have detail zoomed in, so you could look at car tags, you could look at faces and things of that nature, if you had the money to do it. A lot of people don't, and a lot of people just really don't consider this a necessity, but not like fine quality, zoom in, and all this other mess that some other rare people might care about. So with that said, if you can get this for the right price, I think the quality exists within it, and the ability to level itself with the camera is a plus. Once you get used to the navigating through this, that's okay, because once you get it kind of set up, you're kind of done with it, and you're just going to have that continuous looping. Something happens, hit the key button there that will lock in that footage so it doesn't get deleted on the looping. You can easily remove the micro SD card. You get the adapter so you can upload the footage to the computer, and you can retain that for whatever reason. You get a suction mount, you get a 3M sticky mount. The suction mount worked surprisingly great, and this is really light, so I think once you get this locked in to your windshield, you're not going to have a problem. The weird elbow on the mini USB, and not including a USB on one side with the adapter that frees up an extra USB port for charging your phone or something. So make sure to explode on that subscribe button and ding that bell so you get notified on the next product that I review. And I've got a lot, because I've been sick for a month, and I'm coming out of my shell hot, loaded, and running. See ya.